There's a ceasefire in Gaza.
But is there? Is there a ceasefire?
No is the answer. Palestinians still being killed.
I'm actually glad that Trump is president.
Okay.
Because
It's giving me palpitations, but carry on.
I'm going to say something I'm going to be attacked for.
That's unlike you.
Trump can take Greenland tomorrow. He can take Canada tomorrow. Who can stop him?
People?
People?
Yeah.
Like they stopped the Gaza war?
When you look at Elon Musk, what do you think?
Elon Musk has so many stories around him that says that he is 100% prototype of South Africa racist.
I'm going to ask a question. I hope I don't regret asking this question.
What?
Did you vote for Trump?
Obama bombed the shit out of Muslims, but he was loved by everybody because he was just like nice.
Let me ask you this. Does the Roman Empire still exist?
It does, yes.
So every empire is a collapse. I'm saying, is he accelerating the collapse of the US empire?
I make you laugh about what's happening in the world, but I can't change it. The same way when you have so much gas and then you fart. You farted, you have like temporary relief, but your IBS is still there.
I'm Mehdi Hasan.
I'm Bassem Yousef.
And we're not kidding. A Zateo podcast where we talk to funny people about serious things, but also funny things. Bassem, we're in London. We are in London. Just for some context, you are very tired. You've come straight from doing a stand-up show in Ireland, straight here, and you're on your way to South Africa.
Yes, I had a 17 cities tour in stand-up comedy in Europe.
I feel like you've just come straight from stage to here because you didn't sleep all night.
I just finished Dublin yesterday, and I came I didn't sleep.
This is why we love you,
because
Bassem.
I love you.
This is why we love you.
Because I came for the merch.
The merch.
I came from
the
merch. Yes.
Listen to this, but
if you didn't have merch, I wouldn't have come.
We had the merch for you. We timed the merch for Bassem Yousef. The merch can only launch as a Zateo when Bassem is in town. And we had to come to a foreign country to be in town with you.
Exactly.
We rarely meet in America. We meet in Canada. In fact, we launched this podcast. We're not kidding. Almost a year ago here in London.
Yes, our first ever
our first episode of the show, first interview was here in London. Last time we met, it was the eve of the election in Toronto. You were super depressed that day. I remember we were sitting backstage at your show and you said, I've given up, I'm not hopeful. You were just sad.
Yes.
Today you look happier, dare I say.
Because I haven't been following the news.
Not at all.
I have no idea what's going on.
So there's a correlation between not following the news and being happy.
I'm just like hearing the news as like white noise in the background. I hear like bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And I just like, and every time I hear something, it's like, I'm not missing anything.
Really?
Yeah. No.
So when people said there's a ceasefire in Gaza, big news. Like you and I talked about Gaza much of the year.
But is there?
Yeah, great question.
Is there a
great
ceasefire?
question. No is the answer.
There is a
Palestinians
ceasefire,
still being killed.
But Israel has been bombing and killing people, and so you see that's why it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All of this is just like fluff. All of this is just noise, but it's the same thing. That's why I haven't been following the news.
You haven't been following the news?
No.
So
surprise me, Mehdi. What's been happening in the world?
Did you know that Elon Musk is now president of the United States?
Oh, yeah, of course.
See, you can be president even if you're not born in the US, Bassem. There's still hope for you.
Exactly. And you can be a president and just like give people...
your heart. You give them your heart.
Yeah. Oh my God, yes.
That's something you can do if you want to do that. He has been very, very busy. Donald Trump is the vice president of the United States. Elon Musk is president of the United States.
Yes.
Benjamin Netanyahu is in the US this week. The first foreign leader to visit the US since Trump was elected. We were told by some people that Trump was going to be different on the Middle East. I got attacked by a lot of people who said, a lot of people attacked me, Bassem, because they said, see, Trump got a ceasefire, Biden didn't, he's better for the Palestinians.
But what does it matter? Like this whole idea about like ceasefire or whatever, it's the same thing. Okay, let's cut to the chase. I think the whole idea about us having a little bit of hope is that we had a very extended honeymoon after Second World War. The Declaration of Human Rights, never again, whatever. But the thing is, I'm actually glad that Trump is president.
Okay.
Because
it's giving me palpitations. But
I know, but here's the thing. I'm going to say something I'm going to be attacked for.
That's unlike you.
Oh yeah. In Egypt, we had the Muslim Brotherhood and the Salafis, and the thing is, I'm actually more comfortable dealing with Salafis, the radical Muslims, because they're honest. Muslim Brotherhoods are liars. Okay. And you see, this is going to be going. I don't care. They are liars, and they pretend to be something that they're not, and they do the same thing. That's the thing between Democrats and Republicans, or Trump and Biden. Just Trump does like, I don't care. I'm going to screw you up. I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to take whatever I want. The Democrats do the same thing, but just like do it nicely.
You say that, and a lot of people would agree with that. But a lot of people also actually did believe Donald Trump that he would be better on certain issues. He'll be...
Why?
People did. I met Muslims, leftists, progressives who said he's going to be not as pro-war as Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. He's appointed a cabinet full of war. He wants to start a war with Denmark, boss. Are you following this story?
Yes.
You following? But you follow? He wants to take Greenland by force. Forget Iran. Forget going to war with Iran. He wants to go to war with Denmark.
And here's exactly my point. When Britain and France were the world leaders, and they would see a country and they take it. People say, "Oh no, that's not international law." No, we're strong. We're going to do it.
But we're going back to that time.
No, yes,
that's not a good thing.
Exactly. Rome,
but that's not a good thing, Bassem, to go back to that time.
But that's the reality of it.
You're saying I prefer to be like getting in my face from a...
This whole idea about like post-war
you
war...
prefer to deal with the wolf rather than the wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yes, because here's the thing: like America, like they are having huge arsenal. They're spending $900 billion on their defense. The defense budget. Why would they be nice? Why would they listen to you? Why it's like, yes, I have all of these weapons. What I'm gonna do is just like floss my teeth with it. I'm gonna take whatever I want from the world, and you're just gonna watch there. I mean, Trump can take Greenland tomorrow. He can take Canada tomorrow. Who can stop him?
People.
Yeah. Like they stopped the Gaza war. They did like
the Iraq war.
Like they stopped the Iraq war. They stopped the Vietnam war. This whole idea about the guys, none of the American imperialism have never stopped a single day, and I don't know why we're in this we're so delusional thinking it's different.
Have you heard the phrase accelerationism?
Oh yeah.
This idea that you bring about the collapse of Western society, Western capitalism, Western imperialism by making everything worse, right? So that people like Trump, there are some on the left who say Trump is a positive figure because he's going to burn everything down. He's going to expose the system. He's going to make everything unsustainable. He's going to start wars that he can't win. And that will bring about the end of capitalism.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm skeptical. History doesn't suggest that'll happen. Also, the level of suffering. Hold on. The level of suffering human suffering that will be involved in that, I think, is untenable.
But I'm sorry, why would it be the end of capitalism? I mean, what if Trump really knows how it is and and they say like, and America was just gonna expand. I'm gonna be this evil empire, and everybody living underneath.
I'm gonna ask a question.
What?
That I'm going to regret asking, but I'm going to ask this question. It's a question normally I like to ask tough questions, as you know. Yeah. I'm going to ask a question. I hope I don't regret asking this question.
What?
Did you vote for Trump?
Oh no.
Okay.
I didn't vote at all.
Okay. That's what I assumed, because you and I talked about Harris. I know you had said Biden, fuck Biden. You were very rightly, like a lot of people, very upset with Joe Biden's foreign policy. But listening to you speak, I thought, I'll ask. I just want to clarify where we stand as you wear Zateo merch. You're going to come out as a Trump voter. A lot of people didn't vote, right? One of the reasons he lost, Harris lost, is because a lot of people were angry at Biden and Harris and stayed at home, and you were one of them. Obviously, in California, it doesn't matter, but you were one of them.
But like Mehdi, again, we're going back to our point. The whole idea about hope that things will change. Yes, the Democratic Party had a little bit of diversity, a little bit of colored people, a little bit of people who, like I said, against Israel. But at the end of the day, these are two establishment parties, and one of them just like more honest than the other. That's it.
You think the Republican Party is more honest, even though Trump tells more lies?
Yes, they're honest about what they want from the world.
Yes, that's true. That's a fair point.
Yes,
but they lie about how they get there.
I don't think they're lying. He
lies about everything. He lies about tariffs. He lies. Look, just this week, here's a bit of news for you. I know you're not following the news.
Yeah,
he said, I'm going to put tariffs on Mexico and Canada. I love tariffs. My favorite word in the dictionary, he says, as if he's ever read a dictionary. Mexico, Canada, I'm going to put 25% tariffs. And then the Canadians say, hey, we'll put extra troops at the border and spend $1.2 billion on security, which they already announced a few months ago. Yeah. He said, all right, no tariffs for you. Then the Mexicans said, we'll send 10,000 troops to the border, which they already promised 3 years ago. He said, okay, I'll drop tariffs on you. So this guy, now he's like, I won. They bowed down to me. That's bullshit. The man's a liar, right? Foreign leaders have worked out that you can manipulate Trump very easily. You tell him what he wants to hear, and he'll fall over.
Yes, but he's just like doing all of that for the show. He's doing a lot of noise.
Yeah.
And then he's taking and he's gonna just take what he wants. But this whole idea about like, oh, let's be nice and let's be like decent and let's be civil. He doesn't have to. If you're America, why would you have to be decent and nice to the rest of the world?
Okay, well, there's a pragmatic. Put morality to one side.
Yes,
there is a pragmatic critique of Trump, a self-interest. For example, Okay, a big news story going on right now. Elon Musk taking a torch to USAID, the aid department, which has its flaws. Many progressives, leftists criticize some of the funding it's done. It is used as a kind of instrument of American policy. But what's interesting is even if you don't give a shit about all the people who are going to die now because of what Trump and Musk have done in the last week and Rubio, they cut off funding overnight to kids, to people taking soup kitchens in Sudan, to Ukrainians who have no electricity on the front line, Afghans, go through the list, Zambia, go all through the list, African countries having their malaria programs cut, HIV prevention program. People are going to die, right? They just cut off aid. Now, even if you say, I'm a MAGA voter, I don't give a shit about those black and brown people. I don't need to give them any money. USAID is not a charitable department. That's the instrument of US foreign policy. The US has alliances, it builds relationships, it gets its way by projecting power abroad. If you burn down all your alliances, no matter how strong you think you are, you're not going to survive very long in the world. You don't think the Chinese are enjoying this? I think China's loving what Trump is doing right now. Despite him being a China hawk, if I'm China, I'm like, this guy is burning down his alliances.
Let me be a devil's advocate.
We'll fill the gap, please.
Okay, did the Roman Empire had a Roman aid program? Did the Greek Empire had a Roman?
I'm pretty sure that they did a lot for some of their provinces to help them financially.
Provinces that they were occupying.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you're talking about malaria programs, about education. Trump doesn't care. I mean,
let me ask you this: does the Roman Empire still exist?
It does. Yes.
So every empire is a collapse. I'm saying, is he accelerating the collapse of the U.S. empire? That's what some on the left hope could be a byproduct of all this craziness.
People hoped that in 2018 it didn't happen.
Yes. Oh, I know that. I don't share that view. I'm just wondering.
Okay. What
do you see coming down the track?
There's a piece of puzzle that people are ignoring. You have a $900 billion war machine.
Yes.
If I have so many weapons.
Yes.
Why would I give a fuck about the world?
Because hard power only gets you so far.
Yeah.
How did Iraq work out for the US? George Bush had that mentality.
How did the Iraq work out for the US? How did it work for the US?
Disaster.
Really?
You think it was good?
From an imperialistic point of view, they had control over they have more control.
They empowered Iran.
So
they lost thousands of American soldiers. They bankrupted the United States.
And how much money did the
profiteers, the war profiteers made money? But that's not U.S. national interest.
But it doesn't matter.
You're conflating the kind of neocons, the defense industry, the lobbyists with the United States.
But that's what they care about.
I agree with you. But that's not the U.S. The U.S. did not do well out of Iraq. A small bunch of rich Americans did well out of Iraq.
But that's the whole point. It's a small bunch of rich individuals who control the world and don't give a flying fuck about the rest of the country.
Agreed.
So the United States in your mind is different from the United States in their mind.
Yes.
You see? So that's the whole idea.
Also, you now have a ruling class that was, in the shadows, whatever it is, behind the scenes doing. Now you have Trump and Musk openly saying, we are the United States. Musk is walking around unelected as I am the government. So the state is me.
When you tell me it's like so many American soldiers were killed, they don't give a fuck.
Of course they don't give a fuck.
So many veterans lost their limbs. They don't give a fuck. So the thing is, it's actually working for them.
Oh, 100%. The system works
We're
for
just
them.
like sitting down because we don't have weapons. Like, why doesn't America listen to me? They don't care.
I agree with you, but there's two different things going on. One is, are people making money from all the disasters? Yes. Is America getting its way to go back to your bigger picture like the Roman Empire? No, it's not. Right now, China is on the rise. I think if I'm in China right now, I'm loving this moment. Donald Trump is destroying America's alliances, making it isolated in the world, bankrupt to the United States, possibly starting pointless wars. If I'm the Chinese, I'm in a very strong position.
Yes, but I don't think that what America is doing is necessarily bad for American interest. And when I'm saying interest, I'm saying the people in top, because at the end of the day, they're getting richer.
Oh, I agree with that.
And we as citizens, we're just going to get better deals at Costco.
No argument from me. The guy pretends
we're going to get better deals at Costco. That's the whole thing.
By the way,
they give you
shout out to Costco, which has resisted the DEI purge. I don't know if you're following that story. I know you've been in a news blackout, you told me before. So I'm going to keep throwing things at you.
Yes,
I don't know if you've heard.
But
Costco was one major company in America that refused to bow down to the Trump MAGA agenda of getting rid of DEI and screwing over minorities. I said, no, actually, we think diversity is
buying
a
my
good
supplements from there.
Best ice cream sundae.
Yes,
Costco's ice cream sundae.
But also, I don't know if you've heard this, but I heard that
I've heard everything, sadly, because I'm online 24 hours a day.
I'm sure you've heard this. I'm like, hey,
as my wife and kids will say.
We're financing Hamas condoms.
Oh, yes. Oh, of course. So Bassem says to me before the show, he has not watched news or heard news, but of course you heard the Gaza condom story. You got that one. $50 million.
I mean, if I don't hear anything about the news and I hear about condoms.
In Gaza. Gaza, Mozambique, right?
Gaza,
Mozambique. But it goes back to your point earlier. They lie about everything.
Yes.
They not only lied and said we gave $50 million for condoms in Gaza. The next day, Trump takes the lie, goes to the next one and says, not only did they send money to condoms to Gaza, which they didn't, the condoms were used by Hamas to build bombs.
But I love the fact that, like, if genocide doesn't work, we're just gonna do it from the source. We're gonna give them condoms.
But there's a great irony there. If they were sending condoms, wouldn't that be in line with U.S. and Israeli interests?
Yes.
You would think they'd want to send
That'd be good.
billions of condoms.
But why are you surprised, Mehdi? Why this is like it's as if we didn't have 4 years of Trump.
No, I'm not surprised. I'm the least surprised person when Trump lies.
He is lying so much you can't keep up with his lies.
No, I agree. I'm not surprised by the lies. What I am surprised by is some of the moves they're making. For example, I was the one saying Elon Musk is going to be shadow president, blah, blah, blah. I don't think I imagined that he would walk, him and his kids who are not old enough to rent a car would be able to walk into US government departments and take over the entire payment system of the richest country in the world. I didn't see that happening. I didn't see him picking a fight with Greenland. I thought he was going to go to war with Iran, not with freaking Denmark.
He picked a fight with Greenland before COVID.
No, before COVID, he said, I want to buy it. Now he's talking about military action. You have the EU say we're going to put EU troops in Greenland to protect from the Americans. That's insanity. Yeah. Some of this stuff is truly, some of the people he's appointing, I worried how bad they would be.
What about like what's happening in the Middle East when they were saying, no, Egypt and Jordan will take them.
He said, I'm going to clean out Gaza.
I'm going to clean out Gaza.
Which was a bit of a shock to some of the Arab American voters who thought he would be great on Gaza. I think that may have come as a reality check.
Guys, those people
like
who
1 in 3 Muslims voted for Trump.
Guys, this is crazy. I mean, I don't know.
They said he's a transactional politician. He'll do deals. Yeah, he's doing deals. He wants beachfront property in Gaza, condos. Jared Kushner wants condos in Gaza.
Well, here's the thing.
Not condoms, condos.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it.
Here's the thing. If the people who said that he's a transactional politician, I mean, yes, he is. He already took $90 million from Miriam Adelson, and he told him, like, annex it. Don't you see that?
Yes,
the thing
exactly.
So until Muslims and Arabs find another job other than selling vapes, you cannot compete with that.
Well, no, but that's funny because there are Arab governments that have that money. MBS is giving $500 billion, but he's not asking for Palestinian rights in return.
Guys. Arab, I don't know. Again, Arab countries, they're again transactional.
Yeah, they don't care about Palestinians. By the way, I got to ask a question about the fake. I think you and I both agree the fake ceasefire, right? It's not a real ceasefire.
The fake ceasefire.
But who do you think gets credit for the fake ceasefire? Because Joe Biden says it was my deal and I got it. Then Trump comes in. I get a bunch of people telling me, both right-wing or MAGA people and like some Muslim people telling me, Mehdi, you need to give credit to Trump. He went there, he bashed Netanyahu, he made him do it. I think Netanyahu and him were in on it from the beginning. This was always Netanyahu's gift to him for the inauguration.
Yeah, but what does it mean? What does it matter? What does it matter? We just said it's fake.
And the West Bank's on fire.
It's like you telling me who gets the fake for this? Who gets the credit for this fake diamond ring? It just
who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah, so true.
It's fake.
Yes. You agree? It's fake, and you think Netanyahu was in on it.
It doesn't matter, man. Yes, it doesn't matter.
Because there was all these reporting. I don't know if you saw, but a lot of reporting in the Israeli press was Steve Witkoff, who's Trump's real estate guy, who's now his Middle East envoy. He went and he made Netanyahu come out on the Sabbath and meet with him, and he said, "You better fucking do the deal." And Netanyahu did it. That's all. I think that's bullshit. The idea that Netanyahu just got intimidated by Trump, I just don't buy it.
And then Israel went into Jenin and just like destroyed it. And the reason I know that, and the reason I know about Jenin is that on my stand-up comedy tour, I had a stand-up comedian, Palestinian stand-up comedian from Jenin, and he was telling me.
I got to say, you were ahead of a lot of people on one very specific point. When you went on that infamous Piers Morgan episode shortly after October the 7th, you had this mic drop moment where you said, if it's all about Hamas, how do you explain the West Bank?
Let's, for a minute, imagine a world without Hamas.
Right.
What will this word look like? Let's give this word a name, and let's name this word the West Bank. Hamas has absolutely no control in the West Bank, and since the beginning of this year, only through August, 37 Palestinian kids were killed. No music festival, no paragliding, no Hamas.
I'll always remember that moment. And sadly, tragically, that is front and center right now, because while pausing in Gaza, they've escalated in the West Bank, exactly as some of us predicted. And of course, Hamas does not control the West Bank. October 7th did not come out of the West Bank, and yet they are killing, I think, 24 people in Jenin in recent weeks, hundreds of children since October the 7th, over 100 children. The West Bank is on fire.
And there's another part of the interview that you forget. When I said, like, they're going to go into a vast land of Sinai, wink, wink.
Yeah.
They're going to put it in 10 cities, and then they're going to go back, wink, wink. And I said that. And I called it out from the very beginning.
I remember when Piers Morgan said to me once when I went on, he said to me, well, if they're not fighting Hamas, what do you think their real aim is? As if I'm some mad conspiracy theorist. And I said, depopulate Gaza. That's the aim of the operation. Now you have the President of the United States saying, clean them out, and Egypt and Jordan have to take them.
And I told Piers, it's like they're going to do the same in West Bank. I said, no, it's not going to happen. But this is the thing about like all of those people, they just like buy time. It's like, oh, it's not happening.
And it
The
is
war
happening.
is not happening. The killing is not happening.
I mean, there's people dying as we speak in the West Bank. It's not a top story. It is not a front page story. I mean, to be fair to the media, and you know I'm very critical of the media, they're busy covering a constitutional coup in the United States that's happening in front of our eyes. But the West Bank violence was predicted and predictable.
Yes, and they think it's like, oh, we have a ceasefire. You don't have to talk about it anymore. Let's continue killing in the Gaza. You see, that's the whole idea. It's like, why are we talking about Gaza? There's a ceasefire. There's not. No, there's a ceasefire.
But isn't it interesting that for 16 months, I can't even keep track anymore of this genocide. When you and I have done media on this subject, the number one issue that's come up is, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a ceasefire on October the 7th.
Oh, yes.
Well, this is really interesting because this is what they call a ceasefire. We
Yes.
get to carry on killing you sporadically, out of sight of the cameras. It's a ceasefire.
Not with a 2,000 pounds bomb, but occasionally.
Although he's released, by the way, Donald Trump has released the
Yeah,
2,000. The one thing Joe Biden did, the one small thing he did in 16 months, he released a 2,000 pound bomb.
Let's talk about what Joe Biden did, because this is important.
Please do.
How many times during the massacres and the genocide after October 7th have you had Biden freezing weapon equipment to Israel and then releasing it? How many times did that happen?
I can't remember.
Many times. It was like, oh, okay, no more weapons. Okay, weapons.
Yeah.
No more. So you see, that's the difference between Trump and Biden. Again, it's just the honesty. It's not the right word to use, but it's the
bluntness,
the honesty of
the
being
directness.
the
Well,
hone-
it's interesting because they asked Trump, how come you're releasing these weapons? You know what he said?
What?
Because they paid for them. That's what he said.
Oh yes,
He said because they paid for them.
They did.
He's very, very blunt. Basi, we talk about Trump and he's honest and everything else. I mean, the funny thing about Trump, which I know you've done a lot of great stand-up. I came to see your show last year in DC, and you talk a lot about the Trump first term and how you became a citizen
Yes.
and the craziness of the Trump era. What I find about Trump 2.0 is everything's heightened. Like the evil is worse, the lies are worse, the violence is worse, the crazy people are worse. The cult is worse,
Yes.
right? They really worship this guy. And, people talk about Arab countries patronizing. As you say,
He's
it's
the
not
second
like
coming of Jesus.
he's worse than that. Have a look at this clip. I'm going to play a clip of some of the stuff how they talk about Trump now on the
Okay.
right.
I'm glad Trump's here at the moment. It's like Daddy arrived and he's taking his belt off,
When they see peace starting to break out again around the world, they're going to be like, this is the stability that we were asking for. Daddy's back. And that's what you're going to see.
There has to be a point at which Dad comes home. And when Dad gets home, you know what he says? You've been a bad girl. You've been a bad little girl, and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now.
Donald Trump is daddy for these people. What is going on in their minds that they think this freak from New York, this property developer, is this great authoritarian god king?
Here's the thing. I think Tucker Carlson, when he said Daddy is home, and you know what's gonna say? You've been a bad girl and you need some spanking. I think that they all think I'm talking about a sugar daddy. I think they want to be paid and spanked and tied down.
It's
and
very weird. It's something going on there. They all need to have a lot of time with counselors. This is the president of the United States. They've turned him into some weird cult leader.
He might be the president of the United States for you, but for me, he's daddy.
Well, I know you've not been following the
You
news.
don't speak about daddy
That's
this
a
way.
very important geopolitical development
You
that I had
do
to
not
get your
speak
take on.
about daddy this way.
Do you know of any other people in the world who talk about their leader in this way?
Arab countries? Yeah, seriously. When you
Sisi daddy?
all of the Arab leaders is like if you go against him, he's like your dad.
But even
He's
that,
like-
is more like,
No, but
like
this
a
is
father figure, like a guy, not like spanking belt
this
off
is
bullshit.
I feel that he's not just like our dad, he's our pimp.
By the way, another good line from Trump, which is a really chilling line, to go back to your point about honesty in an age of authoritarianism. I don't know if you saw the press conference where a reporter says to Trump, do you think Mark Zuckerberg is, rolling over for you and doing what you want now because you threatened him? And any other Western leader would say, of course I never threatened him. Trump said, yeah, probably.
Say it?
Do you think he's directly responding to the threats that you have made to him in the past with these actions?
Yeah, probably.
Quiet part loud, yeah. probably.
The guy is reveling
He's a mob
into
boss.
the power.
He's a mob boss.
But America has been like mob boss
Yeah,
forever.
but he's the open mob boss.
Yes, he's just being open about
What
it.
do you make-
like this is different.
Does it?
Obama's
sorry
like,
to ask you the cliche question. Does it remind you of an Arab country under a mob boss dictator type?
no.
Go on.
No. He actually, he just reminds me of like being a very honest warlord.
Okay.
You know, because even the Arab countries just like play along. It's like,
That's true.
no. But he's just like open
So,
about
yeah,
it.
he's doing even less pretenses than it.
Obama bombed the shit out of Muslims, but he was loved by everybody because he was just like nice. But I think just like it's important that you sit down. It's like, guys, America is the leader of the world. Is the leader of not of the free world, of the world.
Of the world.
And we're just gonna screw you up, and we do whatever we want with it. That's the whole idea.
You've been traveling a lot around the world. You're heading to South Africa, I think, from here. You've been in the Middle East. You've been in Ireland, Europe, across Europe. Since the election, you said you haven't been following the news, but you must have been meeting a lot of people. Do they ask you about what's happening in America? Do you get a sense of how the rest of the world feels about the US now, post-election?
It's the same thing when Trump got into office 2018, and that's why I don't know. It's
60.
guys, it's replay. I don't know why we're surprised anymore.
It's much worse this time.
I think just like we're more enraged, but I don't think we should.
I mean, he's much worse.
He's just emboldened.
Yeah, he has more power. He's emboldened because the media have rolled over for him. Social media bosses are in his pocket. He has the House, the Senate, and the Supreme Court. He has criminal immunity.
Yeah.
And he has a plan for vengeance, right? Which he didn't have first time round.
Let's do it. We're there for it.
You feel good about it as an immigrant? You feel your citizenship secure?
Yeah, no,
You feel your
I
US
don't
citizenship
care.
secure?
I don't care. Let's
You got
bring
plan
it
B?
on.
You got a plan B?
I don't have a plan B.
Every brown person has a plan B. You're
don't.
rich enough not to need a plan B.
I'm rich enough? Hey, you're the one with the merch.
But I have plan
You're
B.
the one with the merch,
But I-
Mehdi.
but I have
I don't have a merch saying
But I
bassem
have-
Yousef.
But I have plan B, C, and D.
You do?
You have plan A in California. That's it.
Yeah, I can't. I can't leave California.
You've been a citizen for over 5 years, so I think you're good.
Yes.
Basically, apparently, this is what the lawyers tell me. If you have been a citizen for 5 years or more, it becomes much harder for Stephen Miller to strip you of citizenship. You know, they have a denaturalization commission now, a group that will look at American citizens and say, we think you're actually an illegal immigrant, and they strip you in retrospectively of your citizenship. Apparently, that becomes harder after 5 years. So I think you're okay.
Haha,
You're
yes.
a little bit safe.
I just got my 5 years in last December. Just last month.
There you go. So you got your 5
5
years.
years, baby.
How do you feel? No, genuinely though. How do you feel about being a comedian, being someone who speaks openly in the current climate?
I'll be very honest. I've been extremely depressed. I'm even my stand-up comedy in Arabic. I try to avoid current news, and I just being depressed because, especially about the news about Gaza, cleaning up Gaza for Jordan and Egypt. When they called me, it's like they're gonna do it, because I called that out like a year and a half ago. And if anything that we've learned from the last year and a half, it says that America, pushed by Israel, manipulated by Israel, led by Israel, whatever you want to call it, can just do whatever they want. They went and took the Golan Heights from Syria. Nobody did anything. They're going into Jenin and going into the West Bank, killing everybody. They can bomb Gaza anytime they want. They can go and expel the Palestinians, and they can push the Arab countries to do it, and nobody will do anything. And I just saying that, just like depressing that it comes to terms that we're so helpless.
Do you think the ethnic cleansing will happen? You saw Trump say Egypt will take them. I mean, from what you know about Egypt, you think the Egyptians are going to take 2 million people from Gaza? Surely not. I mean, for Sisi, that would destabilize the entire country.
It's destabilizing to Jordan. It's destabilizing to Egypt. But then you think about it. What's the alternative?
They also get paid a lot, the Egyptians.
They're paid because of the peace treaty.
So I'm saying there might be.
And if you think about like
Trump
how much they're
pressures.
paying a lot.
He calls Sisi my favorite dictator.
Yeah, I know.
If
but
he calls Sisi and says do this, can Sisi say no?
Okay, this is the way it works. Always been working between the United States and the Arab world, because being the Arab world, and that's worked with Egypt or with other countries. America puts the pressure. The Arab countries said like, what I'm going to do with my people.
Yes.
And then they're going to do something where you're going to push the people, whether using the weapons of debt, the weapons of water, the weapon of security arrangements, the weapon of threatening you with like, we can remove you anytime. And that's been always, not just like Middle East, but like in Latin America, we've been saying that. But I'm just saying that since we're like being honest about it, and since Israel is like literally paid Trump to do that, what could stop them? So the question is like, it's not what we feel about it. It's like, what could stop them? I mean, think about it. If you are right hard wingers, you say, what can they do to me? If they go in and out, it's like, you're going to take the Palestinians. I don't care about destabilizing countries. You're going to do it. or it's this or your neck. What are they going to do about it? That's a real question.
So you think the people of Gaza could end up in Jordan and Egypt?
Yes, I called it out a year and a half
And the
ago.
settlers turn up in Gaza to resettle.
Oh yeah. So and it's gonna be like and the thing is that you see the way that they actually like move in on you piece by piece, little by little. It's like
They start here,
no, hey,
end up here.
no,
Hey, we just found ourselves.
Israel didn't bomb Al Ahli hospital.
Yes. And then they
Then
bomb
35 hospitals.
later.
Yeah, they're not
Hamas.
killing kids.
They're all Hamas
It
centers.
doesn't matter. It's just they drag us into these circus games, and then they do what the hell whatever. That's why I'm saying it's just like it's very amusing to see them like do the pleasantries, but then at the end of the day doing whatever they
To
want.
go back to your point about global leadership, but you see Israel and the US getting more isolated. You don't see that? You just came from Ireland, where the Israelis got rid of I believe Israelis pulled their ambassador out of Ireland.
Yeah.
Because the Irish have been critical of how they've been treating the Palestinians. There are a lot of countries around the world that are standing up to Israel. There's called a Hague Group now, a bunch of global South countries. Obviously, these are not powerful countries, but they are trying to form alliances to try and call out what's going on.
And on the other hand, what do you see? You see the rise of right-wing governments in Europe.
Yes.
There you see the rise of, and all of them are supportive of Israel, supportive of Trump. So they're not really isolated. I don't think they're isolated. They're isolated in our eyes because we don't like them.
Yeah, your far-right anti-Semitic party is now being super pro-Israel.
Yeah,
AFD in Germany, the National Front in France.
Elon Musk was like in front of AFD, right?
Yeah.
You see, I followed the news a little bit.
Yeah,
you see?
you do. Yeah.
You see?
I think you followed it more than you'd like to admit.
I kind of like I follow them like this, like the same shit. It's like damn.
Well, he did a salute that definitely wasn't a Nazi salute, and then turned up at a party that supports neo-Nazis in Germany and spoke and encouraged them.
It's good to be proud of German culture, German values, and not to lose that in some sort of multiculturalism that dilutes everything.
What do you make, before we wrap up, what do you make of just this phenomenon of Elon Musk? You and I have never really talked about the Musk phenomenon. When you look at Elon Musk, what do you think?
Elon Musk has so many stories around him that says that he is 100% that prototype of South Africa racist. The guy has, according to his daughter, said like, "Don't speak Arabic; it's the language of the enemy." He has been propagating lies about the riots in England. So the guy just like lies to your face. And it's the same. Think about Elon Musk as the United States. United States saying, I have the biggest nuclear weapon arsenal. I can do whatever I want. Elon Musk like, I have Twitter. I can make the news and I can tell you whatever. I don't care. So the thing is like those people, remember there was like a time where we shamed those people. How could you? Now he's just like, I don't care.
You can't shame the shameless. I've been
Exactly.
saying this for years.
So they're just looking at you like, we don't care. We're more powerful than you. We have more money than you. We have more weapons than you. And we're going to do whatever we want. And it's just like left to us here saying, but that is bad. It's like, we don't care. And we know.
But you're not shutting up.
Yeah, but we just basic. It's like
It's a venting session.
We're just venting.
Get stuff off our chest.
We're venting. Okay, can I tell you, in my stand-up comedy in Arabic, I talk about like how people put so much hope on comedians or whatever. And so like, guys, I make you laugh about what's happening in the world, but I can't change it. I mean, the most I can do to you is like I give you like a false hope, a sense of hope, the same way when you have so much gas and then you fart. You farted, you have like temporary relief, but your IBS is still there. So I'm really like I'm assisting you in farting, but I really can't help your colon.
I wouldn't knock assistance in farting. When people can't fart, I think that's a really important skill and
Yeah, exactly.
service to
So
offer.
you're just letting them fart, but like
Is that going to be on your epitaph, on your grave? Bassem Yousef, I helped them fart.
Bassem Yousef, I'm fart assistant.
Fart assistant. Bassem, you're heading to South Africa next
Yeah, to help them fart.
to help them fart. Have you been to South Africa before?
No, it's my first time. I'm so excited.
Well, it's a long freaking flight.
I know.
We appreciate you stopping in London on your way there.
I'm gonna perform in Durban, Johannesburg, and Cape Town, and I'm very excited about that.
Those of you in South Africa, I know we have a lot of Potato subscribers in South Africa because I met a bunch of you recently. Please do check out Bassem's show. It's going to be amazing. And we appreciate the time we had with you today. Always a pleasure. Oh, we love the free advertising. Merch. Get your merch. Shop shop.zeteo.com. That's where you're going to go to get your merch.
Once you get the
Support-
shop dot, that's it, man.
Yeah, you got to
show.
support. You got to support the media company that's still speaking out at a time when Bassem says we're all effed. Bassem, always a pleasure. I'm Mehdi Hasan.
And I'm Bassem Yousef, and we are very happy to be effed and be able to talk about it in Zeteo.
We were not kidding.
We're Not Kidding is a Zeteo production. I'm your host, Mehdi Hasan, and today's co-host was Bassem Yousef. Our executive producer is Kieran Alvey. Our senior producer and editor is Frank Capello. Our music was composed by Andy Clausen. Our design is by Alicia Taytone. Our mix engineer is Valentino Rivera. And the title card animation is by Ehsan Mezghali.